Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, here we are for another AFL 2022 finals match review. Today we're going to be reviewing the first semi-final, which was played second, between Collingwood and Fremantle at the MCG on Saturday night of the 2022 AFL season. Of course, the stakes were high. Loser goes home, winner advances to a prelim versus Sydney. And of course, the Week 3 finals fixture has been fully announced. Who's playing who, where, when, and all that. And of course, next week, spots in the grand final are up for grabs. Let's go ahead and hop right into things. Alright, so, of course, second semi-final at the MCG between Collingwood and Fremantle. Spot in the prelim was up for grabs. And Collingwood 13-11-79 beat the Dockers 9-5-59. They keep their brilliant season hopes and dreams of winning the flag alive to the Pies. And for Fremantle, this is going to be this was their last game for many different players. And we'll go over them really quickly before we start, which is, of course, David Mundy. He kicked a farewell goal in his last game. And Griffin Logue, Rory Lobb, Lloyd Meek, Darcy Tucker, Blake Acres could have just been some of the other players playing in their final games for the clubs, So they do look to have a pretty big trade period coming up ahead, with more going out than in. But they are expected to have Luke Jackson as well. But they're going to have to cough up plenty of draft picks to get Luke Jackson in as well. So they're going to be an interesting side in the trade period. That's what their focus would be now. And for Collingwood, they've also got a pretty big trade period coming up as well. But they do keep the dream of winning the flag alive. And that would be at the back of their mind right now as to who's going in and out. But they have won this game. Collingwood, they did it in a very convincing manner as well. They were all over the Dockers. The Dockers, they aren't a ball movement team, but Collingwood, they attack the ball with they are fast and ferocious with the footy in their hands. And sometimes it can be chaos ball, but it does work. The Dockers, they play slow footy, and the Pies allowed them to have more uncontested footy and more marks, but it was all in their back half of the ground. Collingwood just absolutely destroyed the Dockers. 4-0 first quarter, and look, the Dockers haven't been the greatest of first quarter sides, but it lingered on through the second, a pretty even quarter. But the Pies did end up kicking 9 behinds in a row. They went from 6-0-36 to 6-9-45. Before they ended up getting a few more goals. So this should have been a lot more of a blowout than what it was in the end. The Dockers were lucky to only lose by 20, and they did end up kicking a couple of goals late in the game. A 5-3 last quarter turnaround from the Dockers still was not enough to see them win, but they still did end up, getting somewhat closer than what they would have anticipated at three-quarter time. But yeah, this game probably should have been more of a win. But the Pies, pretty happy with that performance. But again, as I will say, right now, they're going to be going to the SCG next week to play Sydney. That is going to be really tough. They did find that out early in the year, losing by 27 points to Sydney. It's going to be really tough next week. And I see, to be completely honest, the Dockers would have gone to the SCG and got smashed. But I reckon the Pies have more of a chance of beating Sydney there, if anyone does, over the Dockers. So this result was almost, I did tip the Pies to win. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than this, but yeah, the Pies, what they've done really well is they've attacked the ball. They've been happy to take some risks as well, and that's why they won. The Dockers just too slow, and the Pies set up really well back behind defensively. 34 disposals for Caleb Sarong, 3 goals for Jack Ginnivan. He did light up the MCG. Collingwood supporters were a little bit happier with what the umpires did with him as well, which has been very controversial over the season. 127 fantasy for Andrew Brayshaw, and of course the Gold Coast son, Will Brodie, 11 tackles. He was one of them that has been picked up for nothing really, and again, this trade period, people will be hunting. We know Collingwood are interested in Braden Fiorini from Gold Coast, and we do know that with the story of Will Brodie, you can pick up really easy players for not a heavy price, and they can come in and do stuff like what that man Will Brodie has done for the Dockers over the course of this year, and he's been a real key part of their midfield, as has Brayshaw and Sarong. as they have been the last couple of years. Blake Acres could very well be his last game for Fremantle. He put up a pretty good performance with 110 fantasy, and he played through with an injury to get 27 disposals as well. 101 fantasy for Crisp. Crisp does it often. 2 goals for him as well. Fantastic. Hayden Young, he deserves more credit than what he can get sometimes. 98 fantasy for him. 96 for Nick Dacos. Really good young player. He's already established his name as one of the best in the competition. Luke Ryan, 89 fantasy. 88 for Jeremy Howe. 87 for Degoe and Brody, as I said. Degoe, he's such a good player. He's got the explosiveness, he's got the big body, he's got the firepower. He's a real finals treat to watch. Again, he could be one moving to another club. 83 fantasy for Darcy, and then 79 for Pendlebury. He always has so much time up his sleeve, way more time than anyone else on the ground. 3 goals for Ginnivan, and he's so calm as well, is Scotty Pendlebury. 3 goals for Ginnivan, 2 for Elliott, 2 for Myercheck, 2 for Crisp. And then there was actually a fair few Dockers that chipped in with 2 goals. 2 for Schultz. He was the one that got their first couple of goals on the board. 2 for Walters. He's really dangerous. 2 for Griffin Logue, who's their ultimate swingman. He can play anywhere, back, forward. So he's going to be really handy at another club, because the offer that Fremantle have tabled him isn't enough. And then Frederick, his pace of the foot is really good for his 2 goals as well. 34 disposals for Sarong, 32 for Brayshaw, 27 for Akers, 25 for Nick Dacos, 24 for Crisp, Pendlebury and Degoe. Some big numbers there. Now the marks: 11 for Young, 9 for Akers, 8 for House, 7 for Dacos, Nick Dacos, Sidebottom and Chapman. Tackles: 11 for Will Brodie, again, as I said, such a good pick-up for Fremantle from Gold Coast. 8 for Brayshaw, 7 for Jamie Elliott. Oh, hang on, wait, we forgot to do hit-outs. Now the hit-outs we go. 40 for Darcy, 19 for Cox, 14 for Darcy Cameron, 2 for Lob. Yeah, there we go, 2 for Lob. Now to the team stats we go, where the Dockers did have more of the footy, but the Pies, they don't need to have a lot of the footy because they use it so well when they have it. 56 disposals for, 56 inside 50s for Collingwood, 43 for Fremantle, getting way more chances of scoring shots as well. 24 to 14, plus 10 in favour of Collingwood. Centre clearances was 10 to 9, so it was relatively even around that stage. So was stoppage, but I do feel like Fremantle did manage to gain a little bit more dominance, or a little bit of coming back around there. What else? Marks, 87-81, actually in favour of Collingwood, but 13 to 6 marks inside 50, also in favour of Collingwood. Whenever Fremantle went in, it was always marking by Collingwood, really. Fremantle just had no chance. Collingwood almost did a Melbourne, and then 9-10 contested marks, 9 to 10 in favour of Fremantle. Collingwood led for the whole game, and you could tell at quarter time who was bringing the intensity and who wasn't. 13 to 2 bounces, just shows how much time Collingwood had when they had the footy. But yeah, you could tell from quarter time who brought the intensity more. Collingwood, they definitely deserved the win here. Did Collingwood, they were the much better side. They move on to a prelim to play Sydney, and it is a tough place to go at the SCG, but if it is anyone that could beat them there, even though it is still the outside chance, I would say, yeah, probably Geelong or Collingwood would probably be able to go to the SCG and take down Sydney. But again, it's going to be a tough task for Collingwood, but if it's any team that's up to it, it'll definitely be Collingwood to go there. It's going to be a tough job though, but a spot in the grand final is up for grabs, and the Pies have played really well over the course of this year, so really good performance by them. Alright, and now back to Friday night we go, where the Lions beat the Demons by 13 points. So the Demons, they're out of the finals, so are Fremantle, and now Brisbane and Collingwood will both progress through to preliminary finals. Brisbane will be playing Geelong on Friday night at the MCG. Collingwood will be going head-to-head with Sydney at the SCG on Saturday afternoon at 4:45 local time. So it's going to be really exciting. 2 really exciting preliminary finals. Again, 2 games that you feel like you know who the winners are, but you really don't. You really don't. It's finals footy. You don't really know. My tip for the grand final, however, at this current stage is Geelong and Sydney. There's nothing special about those tips. It's just I feel like they are the better of the sides. But Brisbane, they have been reported to match up against Geelong really well. But could they be without Jared Lyons? Maybe, maybe not. And Collingwood, they showed that they can really do a good performance. They did just let the end slip away from them, though. They probably should have won the game by a bit more, but it's still a win, and they still progress through to the next week of finals. So, massive preliminary finals coming up. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you guys never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.